church, your community. Keep up with the Ezra Project. Watch out for the Ezra Project, THEEzraproject.com, so that next year you can apply for the scholarship, or not the scholarship, but for the award for your community service with us as well. We do have one question. What are some great ways to stay motivated and work effectively during the school year as a freshman? Good. That's right.
Yeah,
Up
we're gonna
Lisa's
talk.
alley.
Right, we're gonna talk about this. So let me go ahead and share my screen again.
Okay.
So we left off. We talked about community college. Um, let's move on.
Okay.
Let's see here.
And I think Jabari's question will be answered in this second half. I know it will.
Okay, so what does it take to be successful in college? You definitely have to develop time management skills. I have this thing where I say college is not hard. It's a system. And once you learn the system, you can be successful. So here's are some things that I feel would take that you would need to do to be successful. So you need to develop time management skills. First thing I always tell students, know what's due. Every professor is going to give you what we call a syllabus. It is the blueprint. It outlines everything you need to be successful for that semester. So it tell you all the papers that are due, all the tests, all the quizzes, anything that's going to be due for that particular class is usually in that syllabus. And they usually give you dates and deadlines. So if you're mapping out your weeks, that's what I usually encourage students. That's what I did when I was in school. Every Sunday evening, I would map out my week. If I had meetings with clubs, if I was going to certain events, if I had a specific test or a paper, I would outline that as well as determine what times and days I'm going to study. So if I had a 3-page paper, you figure, okay, I can knock that out in one day. Maybe I'll do that Tuesday. It's due Friday, and they'll give me Wednesday and Thursday to review it. So that's things like that. If you're going to have a job, you have to factor in how many hours per week you're going to work with the job. So you definitely got to set up a schedule. It's not going to be college is not like high school where you had the bells and the hall guards telling you to go to class, teachers telling you to class. You're responsible for your schedule now. So you definitely got to have good time management skills. You got to get into a routine. And one thing I learned that a lot of students, they do not get into a routine. When it comes to going to class, they forget what's due. They don't use a planner. So you gotta get into a routine. You gotta develop a system. Next thing, ask questions. The number one statement a freshman always tell me is, I don't know. Nobody told me, or I missed that mark at the orientation. I didn't hear it. Ask questions. Nothing is crazy. Nothing is weird. I have heard everything imaginable when it came to questions about college, and it may not always been academic. It could be personal. I've had students open up to me about their home life. Ask questions, because the crazy question is the question that does not go answer. So you definitely want to ask questions. Jackie was saying, find somebody you feel comfortable with. Get to know your academic advisor. Get to know your financial aid counselor. Find a professor or a mentor on campus that you feel comfortable talking, but ask those questions. The next thing you want to do is communicate with your professors. I do not understand why college students are so afraid of the professor. They're human just like us. They heart beat, they got eyes, they move. They are human just like us. Now they may have mastered, they got a level of education in the subject that you're trying to know, but at the end of the day, they are human just like you. And I develop a lot of good relationship with my professors, and that comes in handy because if you need a job, if you need a recommendation letter, building those relationships, those will help you when you are, trying to develop relationships with professors. If you're in between that C and a B and you was coming to the professor's office hours and they saw you trying and You know, they got to know you and your struggles or who you are as a person. Sometimes they would give you that B over a C for effort and developing that relationship. Another thing, professors cannot read brains. Although they have PhDs and EDs and all these advanced degrees, they did not go to school for mind reading. So if you're sick or you got personal problems at home, let the professor know. They're not that mean. They're not, evil, that they won't like let you turn a paper in or make a select another time to, retake the test if you can't take the test at the scheduled time. Let a professor know, hey, I was sick in the hospital, or I'm dealing with a parent that has cancer, or I gotta, do something with my siblings and I'm responsible and things are not right at home. Let the professor know those things. They can help you. One thing I can say, a lot of professors, even when we was in this pandemic, they were very understanding because they knew students didn't have adequate Wi-Fi, or they didn't have access to a computer because they had younger siblings who had to use the computer for their e-learning. So a lot of the professors tend to be more compassionate, understanding, more flexible, to let students get work done. So you got to have that open communication, and then learn the system. And when I mean learn the system, who are the key offices on campus? Who is that financial aid counselor you need to know? Who is that academic advisor you need to know? Where is that TRIO office? Where is that mentoring program? Who are the fraternities and the sororities? Learn the system. Learn what makes the university move and learn what works for you. So that's what I mean by learn the system. Learn what resources are available to you. Use those resources. So you want to learn the system. So these are just some of the tips to be successful, and it's not an overnight process, so it takes time. I tell everybody, I didn't find my groove of college till my sophomore year. I didn't find the groove until sophomore year. I didn't take college, intro to college, and that's another thing. If you gotta go to a school that offer college 101 or intro to college, take those courses because they really help you to get focused. And we talk about stuff as I'm discussing tonight. You have like a resource person, because 9 times out of 10 is a staff person or a professor. So you'll have somebody that's connected to the university that can kind of walk you through that semester. So you want to take advantage of those classes as well. I didn't take one of those. I wish I would have took a college 101. I probably could have benefited for taking one of those courses had I knew about it, or somebody would have encouraged me to take it. But take those courses as well. Don't beat yourself up. Nobody's expecting you to walk into a college and be a genius. So we know that first semester tends to be the adjustment. That first year is an adjustment. So, don't beat yourself up. If you're really trying and you're getting the help and you're going to tutoring, don't beat yourself up. Like Jackie had mentioned, she have seen valedictorians at a high school, straight A's, come to college and struggle. So it's not about them not being smart enough. It's just really, the system, knowing the system, learning a routine. So we're gonna
And I
move.
mentioned one other thing, Lisa.
Go ahead.
Uh,